Just 13 ratings, that is all it takes to win the GMTK Game Jam. And each year, it is getting worse. A weekend of work, sweat and caffeine judged by just 13 quick clicks. I've gone through every year of GMTK Game Jam data and I think I found a way to improve the rating system. But more importantly, I learned while we shouldn't care about most ratings at all. During the 2025 Jam, almost 10,000 games were submitted and nearly 200,000 ratings were cast. One of the biggest game jams in history. The event started back in 2017, so now we have 9 years of data to look at. Let's slow down for a second because this is where it gets interesting. The spreadsheet I use in this video is available in the description. The results look very promising until you realize what they really mean. Let's dive in. When we look at participation, that's the blue line. Submissions rose every single year. Ratings, the red line, increased even faster, which sounds great. It means games on average get more attention. The bold lines show real data, and the faint ones are trend lines to help us estimate where things are heading. Now here is the interesting part. I included both average and median rating counts. And since those two graphs look nearly identical, it means there aren't many extreme outliers. The average number of ratings per game is steadily increasing. That's blue. For winners in red, the average is even higher. The gap between them widens. But the median gap, the one that truly matters, is shrinking. That's good news. It means normal submissions are starting to catch up to the winners regarding the numbers of ratings they receive. But let's shift our perspective. We must account for COVID, which skewed almost every dataset in those years. So for the rest of this video, I'll exclude both the pandemic years and the first 3 jams. Those early years were too different to compare fairly. That leaves us with 2021 to 2025, the modern GMTK era. And now, things look less optimistic. Submission and rating counts are still climbing, but average and median ratings per game are plummeting. Fewer people are deciding who wins. The smallest number of votes a winning game received this year was 13. You've spent your entire weekend building, polishing, and barely sleeping just for the fate of your game to be decided by just 13 people. Maybe one of them didn't even really play your game, and maybe 2 of them were in a bad mood. Your result reflects moods and attention spans, not necessarily your game. Let's make this more tangible. Imagine 2 games, green versus red. Green gets 5 positive and 2 negative votes, and red gets 3 positive and 1 negative vote. So who wins in this case? It's red, despite having fewer votes overall. Statistically, a higher rating, but less stable. Now imagine both games get 1 more negative vote. Red now loses, while green barely changes. That tiny swing shows how fragile small sample sizes can be. Just a handful of opinions can rewrite the entire leaderboard. So what could fix this? If a small number of ratings drastically change the results, then the number of ratings should matter. We could factor the number of ratings into the ranking to favor stability over volatility. We should then also try to close the gap between median rating counts of winners and non-winners to make the jam fairer and reduce frustration. Because with my proposed change, you can lose to a game with a worse rating just because it got more ratings. And indeed, there seems to be some penalty factored into the rating system already. It's just not documented, or at least I've never seen it mentioned anywhere except in some forum posts. From what people have gathered there, it seems that you do receive a penalty if your game does not get the median number of ratings. And if you're surprised to hear this, you're not alone. I didn't know about this either. The issue here is that a penalty only works if people are aware of it. No one's going to try avoid a penalty that they didn't even know existed. That information needs to be visible, preferably in the voting section of the Jam's page. But even then, I think we need stronger measures to close the median rating gap. The Ludum Dare Jam handles this pretty well with its coolness or karma metric. Basically, you get as many ratings as you give. I'd probably take that idea one step further and introduce diminishing returns, so that at some point you have to give several ratings in order to get just one back. That would almost certainly push the system towards fairness. But even if that's fixed, the real problem is not one the organizers can fix. The truth is, the main flaw is just part of game jamming. You are being judged on a product that you made in just a few dozen hours. Of course it's unfinished, of course it is flawed. That is the beauty and the chaos of jams. So how do you measure the success of your game if ratings are unreliable? You measure it manually through playtesting. If your gameplay loop excites you, then find a few friends who enjoy that genre. Run 5 short playtests and each one will reveal new blind spots. Your game will improve dramatically from those sessions, and you'll have a much clearer idea of whether your core gameplay loop really works. Every single playtest teaches you way more than a jam rating ever could. That's exactly what I did with my entry Foca Recurva. The game wasn't in a great state when I submitted it, and the ratings and the comments reflected that. But that criticism helped me shape the next iteration of the game. I did multiple playtests with friends, and while not everyone enjoyed the game, there were a few people who got quite hooked on the mechanic, which showed me that there was real potential. In Foca Recurva, you race against your past self, and you outmaneuver your previous mistakes, and you leave enough room for future attempts. It's a metaphor for life, and maybe that is the real jam. Remember, 13 people do not define your game. You do. If this video changed how you see game jam ratings, then leave a like and subscribe. And check out my GMTK devlog on Foca Recurva next. Until next time, take care. Bye.